So a bit of a different video for me this week. Instead of recording this in my studio, I'm going to take you on a drive and show you a large industrial site. And I think this is a perfect example of a brownfield, but just a little bit of history on brownfields as well. And the terminology might vary from country to country, but generally speaking, a brownfield is an industrial or commercial site that was once developed and now it's either underutilized or not used at all. And in most cases, there's some contamination issues. And this is a great example because this site was formerly occupied by a large petrochemical company, and they used this site for over 50 years. It was fully decommissioned in 2007, and it's largely been sitting dormant for the last 14 years or so. And what the upside on a site like this is that it's actually serviced by two Class 1 railroads. It's got pipelines running all to it, and it's also in very close proximity to two major highways. And to find a large swath of land like this right in city limits that's zoned heavy industrial is quite rare. But again, there's challenges and risks with a site like this because of the contamination issues. And the company that sold this had actually agreed to indemnify any environmental contamination for 25 years. So it's been an ongoing process of them remediating and monitoring the environmental issues. And sites like this can have big opportunities, but again, they can also come with big risks, considering it against just a typical or conventional greenfield site. So as we go through this, I'll show you how this land has actually been pretty derelict over a number of years. There's still a number of buildings that haven't been used in well over a decade. Windows have all been broken. Thieves have broken into it and stripped all the wire out of it. So they're pretty rundown buildings. But the site as a whole still has a ton of potential. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a large industrial brown site like this. I can guarantee that there's sites in your market that would be similar brownfield sites, but just smaller in nature. That could be a gas station. It could be a dry cleaner in an old strip mall. One of the chemicals that a dry cleaner uses in the process is a solvent called
perchloroethylene.
It's often just called perc. And if that chemical isn't handled properly, it can cause significant contamination at the property. So those are all ones to watch out for. Doesn't necessarily mean that every gas station or dry cleaner will be a contaminated site. But if you do see issues with that, or a site that hasn't been used, if you see a prime development piece of land that hasn't been developed in a number of years, that's probably a property owner that's going through the lengthy process of dealing with all the issues on that. So if you do see a property that's been vacant or undeveloped for a long period of time, that's probably an owner that's going through the costly and lengthy process of remediating it and getting it to a level where it can be developed again. So again, there's could be great opportunities in your market to find these brownfield sites and deal with the remediation work and get it repositioned for a new use. But if you are going to go through that process, I'd highly recommend, at a bare minimum, that you have an environmental consultant on board, you have a lawyer involved, and you have a planner involved in going through the costly and timely process of dealing not just with the municipality, but also with the slow bureaucracy that comes from either the state or provincial government being involved in that process as well. So it can be a scary proposition to deal with these brownfield sites, but that also might be an area where you find a lot of opportunity. So the biggest thing that I'd say is keep an eye out for them, but don't go into it blind. And thanks for watching this video. Have a great week. It's called What is it? Perchloroethylene. Is a solvent. It's a chemical called perchloroethylene. Perchloroethylene, which is sometimes